Hi, I'm Justin Thompson, and welcome back to X-Ray Nerds, How the Walking Dead Should Have Written It. Last week I told you to check out Into the Mouth of Madness, a good John Carpenter movie. This week I'm going to tell you to check out a classic, The Blob, Steve McQueen's very first movie. Awesome, underrated, really fun movie. Go check it out. But from here on out, spoilers are following. So if you didn't see last night's episode, come back to this video later. And then share it with your friends. But come back to it later. But share it with your friends. But come back to it later. So this week's episode starts off with Maggie waking up. But you know, in my show, Maggie's dead. So in my show, Glenn wakes up. And instead of saying that she has fancy baby vagina syndrome or whatever they said she had, Glenn has kidney stones. He's got kidney stones. They got to have a kidney stone surgery. And he thinks that they really need to stay there because the kidney stones are bad. Okay? So then after that, Glenn meets up with Sasha. And they go to Maggie's grave. And they're all like, oh no, the sads. The sads. Abraham and Maggie, the sads. So then Jesus shows up, right? And he's like, I'm so glad you're okay, Glenn. I'm sorry about Maggie. You know what? I like doing this in my show. I like just switching my characters all up. So instead of this guy playing Jesus right here, we're going to have a dude who looks like a real accurate Jesus. How about that? We're going to have Cal Penn play Jesus, right? Give him the long hair and a beard. He'll look like more of what an actual Jesus would look like in actual historical records. Don't you think that'd be kind of cool to have actual Jesus be on there? That would be fun. So Cal Penn's playing actual Jesus. So the hilltop leader, Gregory, is there, and he's like, oh, you shouldn't be here. You didn't do what you said you should do. And Glenn's like, my wife's dead. And he's like, that's nice, but you shouldn't have got with your wife. He's like, but we tried. And Greg's like, it didn't work. What's funny is in the actual show, they said to Maggie, basically, he's like, but she's pregnant. And Gregory's like, well, that's her problem. Basically, Gregory's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be sticking things in your vajayjay in the apocalypse. Ever think about that? And then we flash over to Rick wanting Carl to go on a run with him. But he's like, but darts are fun. Then Michonne's like, I don't know about your dad. And Carl's like, but my dad doesn't know. And she's like, uh-huh. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I gotta figure it out. And Carl's like, huh? So even though he won't go on the supply run with his dad, he's like, there's that girl I like. I'm leaving. So then he goes to see Odin. I don't know this chick's name. It's really weird, okay? And then Carl's all like, well, you know, if you go, I'm not saving you no more. And he's like, you didn't save me the last time. He's like, yeah, I did. And she's like, no, and he's like, uh-huh. So then we flash over to Cal Penn, Jesus, talking to Sasha. And then he gives him something to Abraham. And she's like, thanks. And he's like, we need to make the hilltop a better place. And Sasha's like, I know, Cal Penn, Jesus. They start reminiscing about some dude in the past. And she's like, where is he? He's like, we burn our dead. So Glenn shows up and he's like, why do you burn your dead? And Cal Penn, Jesus is like, because it's our memories that matter, not physical things that remind us of them, like bodies and graves. But I think at this point, Cal Penn, Jesus, should have just went off on her. He's like, why do we burn our dead? What do you mean, why do we burn our dead? There's two ways to get rid of bodies, okay? Two ways even before this apocalypse happened. We either bury it, whether at sea or on land, or we burn it. What do you mean, why? You act like this isn't a normal thing that's been happening for years, right? You've never heard of one person ever getting cremated. You've never heard of a crematorium. Really? Even before the apocalypse, before the zombies, you never heard of any of that shit. Get the hell out of here, Glenn. We burn them so we can have a nice, tasty smell. And then it gets everybody all hungry, and then we go on supply runs. Yeah, that's why we burn them. We flash over to Eden, Aiden, Odin. You know what? Fuck it. She's just Odin now. How about that? Because I'm getting tired of trying to figure out and say her name correctly. So she's just Odin from Thor now. Okay? Odin from Thor is now playing this little girl. So she sees a zombie, right? And then all of a sudden it gets hit by a car. And it's Carl! Carl's in there. She's like, what did you do that for? And he's like, I just wanted to go for a drive, Odin. So then we get to the actual meat of the episode. Something finally happens. It's been 4 episodes, and finally, they did something. So the Savior set a whole bunch of fires inside the hilltop, right? And also they bring a car in there that's completely, like, unget-inable proof, I guess is the way to say that. Hashtag unget-inable proof. It's in my new word. So then the zombies are flooding in the gates because they left the gates open with fire going and music blaring really loudly. And then Glenn and Sasha run outside and they're like, oh, we gotta take care of this. And then Calpin Jesus is like, I gotta help you. So they start stabbing zombies left and right, just bow, bow, hitting it with shit, bow. And all of a sudden, Glenn's like, I got an idea, tractor that car. So he goes and he gets the car and he starts backing over the tractor, which really, really does remind you of home if you live in the South. You're like, oh, monster truck rallies. So finally they push all the zombies out and turn off the fire, and the music's dead because the tractor ran it over. By the way, I'm keeping all that. I liked that scene. I really did. It touched my southern heart for the tractor pull / monster truck scene to be in there. Aw. So then we flash over to Carl and Odin walking down the road. Carl finds a bag that has roller skates in it, right? And then they both put on the roller skates and they start roller skating down the road, and isn't it so cute? No! Fuck that. I'm not gonna make the first skate joke, okay? For a couple of reasons. One, it's easy. 2, Chris Hardwick literally did it as soon as the episode was over. You son of a bitch. I have a better plan for those roller skates, okay? Now that they have them, they start practicing with them. And they get really, really fucking good, okay? Carl and Odin get really fucking good. And once they get really good, they find some hockey sticks and they start sharpening them up. They sharpen up those hockey sticks. And then now, in the zombie apocalypse, we have people who are expert fucking roller skaters going around with sharpened hockey sticks, just cutting heads off of zombies left and right. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome! Alright, Justin. Calm down. Alright? Calm down. And then, uh-oh, the Savior show up. And that mustache dude, the baldy mustache dude is there. So then baldy mustache dude wants to talk to Gregory. And he's like, we need to talk. All of our people at the other place, they got killed. And Gregory's like, he might as well have did that, been Tim Allen. Because he could not have looked more fucking guilty. Couldn't have looked more guilty about the fact that he didn't know anything about those other people. Seriously, dude, have you not listened to one of our greatest philosophers in history, okay? Poker face. Poker face. Ma. Seriously, dude, straighten that shit up. Versus, oh, really? My episode, he's fucking stone-faced. He's a stone-faced killer! Then the bald Savior dude and with the mustache and fucking Gregory, they make small talk for like 3 minutes. They're like, hey, how's the weather? And he's like, it's pretty good, you know, weather being weather. We could do with some more rain. I don't like the rain personally, but it really helps the corn. Oh, yeah, corn? Yeah, corn. Yeah, you all like the corn we give you, right? Oh, Negan definitely loves the corn. He's a big fan of cornbread. And Thanksgiving's coming up. Without cornbread, we can't make cornmeal. And without cornmeal, we can't make cornbread. And we can't make the dressing. Rawr. He's like, I like the painting. He's like, I like the painting too. I'm a big fan of paintings. Rawr. And then, once again, the saviors try to seem like they need to be liked. It's very weird. It seems like every member that's like a higher up in the saviors organization has the need to be liked by people. It's like, our people died, but those people that killed them now work for us. I want you to understand the benefits of being with the saviors organization. They're like fucking Amway. They're like a pyramid fucking scheme. They're just like, if you sell really well, you can move up to level 2. And if you're up to level 2, then you get more benefits than you did when you were at level 3. But once you get up to level 1, you get even more benefits. But if you're at level 0, oh my god, it just looks so good in the pyramid of success. The pyramid of success. And he's like, we're going to take half your stuff again, too. By the way, I know we did the half your stuff thing last week, and it seems redundant that we're just doing the half your stuff thing in a different location. But I promise you, this is a different situation. No, it's not more of the same. What are you talking about? What do you mean, cut? And then the savior dude's like, kneel before Zod. So then Carl and Odin show up at the hilltop, and they see the saviors, and he's like, come on, you want to go kill him, Odin? Let's go kill him. I mean, I know that you're like the king of Asgard, so it'll work out great. And Odin's like, oh, no, because if we kill them, we're going to be killing them for us. We're not killing them for Maggie and Abraham. That's something that I've noticed that chicks do a lot. They want something done, right? They want you to do something, okay? And then you do that something. And they go, why did you do that? He goes, because of blah, blah, blah. And they go, you mean you didn't do it because of yada, yada, yada? No, I did it because of blah, blah, blah. But I wanted you to do it because of yada, yada. It doesn't matter if you didn't do it because of yada, yada. You did it for blah, blah. But it's something that you wanted done. Yeah, but it wasn't for yada, yada. Seriously, I'm just trying to take out the trash. What the fuck? Yeah, I did it because you wouldn't complain at me. No, not because I wanted to do it. Did it get done? Jesus Christ! So then Carl and Odin have a really passionate kiss, which is even funnier now that it's Odin instead of Eden or Iden or whatever fuck her name is. So then Glenn just hauls off and fucking punches Gregory, right? And then takes the watch back, and he's like, you had my girlfriend, wife's daddy's watch. That's my watch. I'm sad and broken. Then Odin fixes Glenn and Sasha a lovely dinner. And they start talking about how Glenn one time also used the tractor to run over somebody else's car. And they have a kind of a laugh, and then they pray. Which is even funnier because now they have an actual God sitting there. They don't really need to pray to a God. They can just go, hey, Odin, thanks. And he can be like, no problem, dog. So needed some exposition, all right, with Daryl and Negan, showing how much that Negan is continuously breaking him, but bringing him back as he's breaking him down, bring him up, break him down, bring him up, break him down, bring him up. So it makes him seem like he's the one that's actually doing all the good for him, and in fact, he's the one doing all the bad for him, but it's a weird fucking psychological thing that's going on. That way, that Daryl can completely be on Negan's side. He can see that what Negan's doing for him is really what's good. And then he starts getting Daryl to start doing shit for him. Just to say, hey, he go kill that guy. And he does. Daryl just goes and he fucking slaughters that dude. So now he's completely under Negan's control. Is Vader to Negan's Palpatine. And the slow build continues. And that's how I'd have written it. Thank you so much for all the people that have been watching these. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. I'm getting a good response. Please continue to do that. I'm not asking you to stop. I really want your support to continue. So please keep liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. You can also follow me on Twitter at JustinComedy1. My new YouTube channel with all these videos on it is X-Ray Nerd. You can follow me on Instagram at AfroDragonHero. And also, I'm just Justin Thompson on Facebook. There's a fan page. Go like the fan page. It's a regular page that's just me. Send me a friend request. I'll be friends with you. All right? But that's how I'd have written this episode of The Walking Dead.